Hello everyone, my name is Joseph and welcome back to the POPSICLE KNIGHT channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Please take a second to click the like button if you like this video or hit the thumbs down if you don't. Also, if you enjoy the contents of this channel, please subscribe if you haven't already. This video is sponsored by PTCGO the best place for you to get PTCGO code cards. Are you looking to complete your Pokemon card collection online for the latest set or get booster packs to use for trading online? PTCGO has everything you need. Please use my code KNIGHT22 at checkout so you can get a 5% discount. Help yourself out with the discount, and thank you for helping support the content I create in this channel and for helping out PTCGO. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at Seismitoad from Evolving Skies. It is a Stage 2 Pokemon with 170 HP, 3 retreat cost, no resistance, and it is weak to grass. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Shaky Wave. For 1 fighting energy, it will deal 60 damage, and during your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon's attack is increased by 1 energy, and their retreat cost is also increased by 1. And the whole strategy for this Seismitoad is centered around this first attack, and really it is to disrupt our opponent so that their Pokemon will not be able to attack as much as possible. And to make the effects of this attack stand out even more, we're going to ask the help from Clefable with the Prankish ability. If you evolve into this from your hand, you can put an energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon to the top of their deck. That energy removal will help prevent your opponent from building up their other Pokemon. We can also use the Scoop Up Net so that we can reuse this ability. It is worth noting that its pre-evolution Clefairy has the Mini Metronome attack. For 2 colorless energy, you flip a coin, and if it is heads, you can copy an attack from your opponent's active Pokemon. So this will act as our secondary attacker. I'm also using the Team Yell Grunt supporter card, which allows you to remove 1 energy from your opponent's Pokemon back to their hand. And I also have the Rugged Helmet tool card. If the Pokemon this is attached to is damaged by an attack, you can remove 1 energy from the attacker and put it to your opponent's hand. So really, if you combo Rugged Helmet with Team Yell Grunt and Clefable, you can remove all energy from your opponent's attacker during your next turn. These 3 really synergize with Seismatoad's first attack. And while your opponent's Pokemon cannot attack, you can trap it in the active with the help of the Galar Mine Stadium, which increases the retreat cost of both active Pokemon by 2. And while your opponent cannot move, you have to build up Seismatoad's second attack. Hyper Voice. For 1 fighting and 3 colorless energy, it will deal 160 damage. I have to admit it is a bit expensive, but you should have enough time to build it up. You just need to find your energies. I will be using the Stone Energy, which will increase Seismatoad's defense by 20 for each of these attached, which will increase its survivability. And I'm also using Twin Energy to provide 2 extra energy. I am using the pre-evolution of Tympole and Palpitoad from Rebel Clash set, mainly because they both have attacks that can confuse your opponent's active. As for the other cards worth noting, I'm using Snorlax with the Gormandize ability. While it ends your turn, if it is in the active spot, you can draw cards until you have 7 in your hand. I also have 1 Tool Scrapper, 2 Skyla to find our trainer cards from the deck, and 1 copy of Sonia, which allows you to find 2 basic Pokemon or 2 basic energy from the deck. The dual option to this card make it a great addition to this build. The whole strategy for this build requires some patience, centered mostly on disrupting your opponent's setup. And once you build up energy on Seismatoad, you just start attacking. And that's pretty much it. The deck list will be in the description below. But enough talk, let's see how this Seismatoad build works. Alright, we get to go first, which is, for me, I like going first with this Stage 2 Pokemon build because it does take some time to build up your Pokemon, especially if you don't get all the necessary cards to evolve into your Stage 2. And we're gonna start off with a Snorlax, which is great because that allows us to draw into a lot of cards early on in the game for setup. And we draw into a Tympole, and we also have Quick Ball. For the meantime, I'll just attach an energy. Use this Quick Ball, get rid of the Glimwood Stadium, which I don't think we'll need. Get a Clefairy so that we can evolve into Clefable later on, and I'm just gonna Gormandize. So we're up against a purple type deck. Our opponent has Noivern V in the active so far, which requires only 1 energy to attack the active and also our whole bench. So Noivern V can attack all of our Pokemon for 20 damage for just 1 purple energy. And they have a lot of really strong Pokemon on their bench. They have Espeon V and Espeon VMAX, I guess, in their second turn. They also have Shadow Rider, Calyrex V, and Zacian V to accelerate energy if they need to. So what we're gonna have to do here is evolve into Seismitoad first. We have Twin Energy to accelerate more energy, but I'm just gonna remove this energy from Noivern V for now as we evolve into this Clefable. And I'm gonna switch into Seismatoad, put that Twin Energy and Shaky Wave for 60 damage. And now with that energy removal from this Noivern V, even if they reattach that energy, it cannot attack because they'll need 2 energies basically on Noivern V to start attacking. But now that we have 3 energies on Seismatoad, if they cannot attack, all we need to do in our next turn is attach 1 more energy, and then we can knock out this Noivern V for an easy 2-prizer. Now, Gourgeist requires our opponent to discard cards from their deck to determine how many damage is dealt. So let me scoop up my Clefable, set up Clefairy again, and then I'm just going to use Hyper Voice here to knock out this Noivern V, getting us our first 2 prizes. So not too bad, not bad so far, but we will need to set up another Seismatoad line here because if not, if they knock out our Seismatoad, that's gonna be it. We won't have any other attackers, and we don't have any energy on Clefairy either. So that's our situation right now. But our opponent is doing really well with their setup. They have 2 Shadow Riders being set up right now, energizing their Zacian V, and also they're putting up an old cemetery stadium. They're gonna attack with their Gourgeist, dealing 120 damage to our Seismatoad. So we have 30 HP left. This is not looking good. Although we will be able to knock out this Gourgeist if we attack with Hyper Voice. And I think that's all I'm gonna do is just knock it out for 130 damage. Because of resistance, we do find ourselves a Temple, which we'll need so that we can set up another Seismatoad. But I'm not liking the whole resistance to fighting against this matchup because Seismatoad is already having a hard time with its attack. And to add that resistance, it's gonna be a lot harder for us to knock out their VMAXs or their V Pokemon. And also the disruptiveness of Seismitoad isn't helping that much because our opponent has the ability to accelerate so much energy in a single turn, which is crazy. So unfortunately, the whole strategy for my build can't really keep up with our opponent's energy acceleration, especially now that they have 2 Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX and they have so much attack, so many attackers ready to go, and all they have to do is really just knock out our Seismatoad, and that's gonna be it. But he's gonna use Roar of the Sword, which ends their turn, which means they can't switch out their Espeon VMAX. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use Clefable to remove this energy. That will prevent them from hard retreating. And I'm gonna scoop up Clefable so that we can use it once more. And I think I'm just gonna attack with Hyper Voice here. Deal 130 damage, again with that resistance. And I don't really know how to win this game now because Seismatoad isn't doing that much damage. And they're gonna boss our Clefairy. You know what? We can actually use Mini Metronome. We can even copy this Espeon VMAX's attack because they have a lot of energies in play. But they're probably just gonna knock it out. And most probably they're gonna switch out their Espeon VMAX. So no, they're not switching it out. Okay, so we could just attack with Seismatoad, but we get a Twin Energy from the top deck, which is insane. So I'll just attach it on Clefairy, and I might just have to take a chance here with the Mini Metronome. Here we go. Flip a coin. What? Unbelievable. I can't believe we got heads. Wow, good game. Good game. Alright, I'm going to choose to go first because I like going first, especially with the stage 2 build. And I'm going to have to mulligan here. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the Timpole. That goes into the active, Clefairy on the bench. We have a bunch of energy. Definitely building up energy so that once you evolve into Seismatoad, it requires 4 energy, so it's very important that we build up our energy really quickly. So let me put the stone energy, use this Galar Mine Stadium to prevent their Marshadow from retreating, which could be an easy knockout, but we just have to evolve into Seismatoad. They're gonna find out waves our stone energy though, and that's gonna be a little bit tougher for us to build up energy. And our hand is looking terrible. We have boss, but nothing to draw into. So this hand is terrible. So it's not a good start for us, but at least our opponent doesn't have any energies to start attacking. But they're gonna Marnie, which I don't really mind. I really appreciate that actually, because we need better cards on our hand. Hopefully we draw into something better. Okay, we got a Seismitoad, Scoop Up, and Sonia. I'm thinking to use Sonia on my next turn, get a Snorlax, maybe another Timpole. I can just scoop up this Timpole in the active and then switch into Snorlax so it can start Gormandizing. Draw into more cards. So let's do that. Snorlax, Timpole. And their Medicham V is actually pretty dangerous because if it attacks and it manages to knock out one of our Pokemon, they get another turn. And having 2 turns, that means they can accelerate energy even faster and even take knockouts if they really want to take 2 knockouts. So they're gonna start attacking with Medicham V. So that Yogaloop attack is pretty dangerous because we have a lot of Pokemon that is 60 HP, and yeah, that range of knockout, the knockout range is pretty easy to kind of get to, especially they're using their Maelstrom tool card, which hits all of our Pokemon, especially Snorlax because it's hitting for weakness. But let me use Skyla to get Rare Candy. We can evolve into Seismatoad finally, which will put it out of range of knockout. Let me evolve this one into Palpitoad, evolve into Clefable, which we can remove that energy, put it on the top of their deck. And let me use Evolution Incense. We don't have any more Clefable, unfortunately, so let me just get a Seismatoad. And let me put this in the bench so we can get more cards with Gormandize. Okay, what I need is energy. What I need is energy. But they're not gonna attach to their Medicham, and they're just gonna attach on their Zeraora V. And that Medicham Zeraora is actually a really good combo, because if they get another turn, they can attack with Zeraora, target 2 Pokemon and get 3 prizes or something like that. But we're just gonna disrupt them with the Team Yell Grunt, and then I'm just gonna Gormandize. We finally get energies, and they're gonna switch into Marshadow. Okay. So now Marshadow has Shadow Flicker that is actually gonna allow them to get an extra prize if they manage to knock out our active. But we're gonna Team Yell Grunt, further disrupt them so that they can't attack, and just gonna Gormandize. There's a switch which we really need to get this Snorlax out of the active so that we can start attacking with our Seismatoad. But that helmet is actually, the rugged helmet is actually helping to disrupt our opponent because their last attack took out that 1 energy on Marshadow. So with the boss's order, I'm actually going to use Shaky Wave, dealing for weakness against the Zeraora V so that we're hitting for 120 damage. But they have Escape Rope, and that removes actually the effect of our attack. So I'm just gonna choose to switch into this other Seismatoad in the bench. We just need another energy to get it attacking, but we don't have any way to draw into more cards, and they're gonna use Yoga Loop. They're gonna target our Clefairy, and again they're gonna take a prize, but we draw into Professor's Research. We might just have to sacrifice all of our cards here because we need energy. There's an energy, sweet, and a switch, and even a scoop up net. And I might just have to scoop up this Clefairy so that they don't get a prize for that and another turn. So let me just energize this Seismatoad with Stone Energy, switch into the active, and I'm just going to use Shaky Wave to do some chip damage on this Medicham, increasing its attack cost. So now, but they have another escape rope. I mean, we have energy. I could probably just switch into Seismatoad again. I mean, we have Snorlax. Let me just switch into Seismatoad. But at least both their Zeraora V and also their Medicham are in knockout range. But they're probably going to be able to knock out my bench Seismatoad for 160 damage. Because, again, that removed the effect on Medicham. And that effect is only on Medicham. Switching out into Zeraora doesn't affect Zeraora, but thankfully they don't knock out my Seismatoad, and we can knock out this Zeraora V. Let me just remove this tool card from our opponent, and let me use Professor's Research. We are in desperate times here, so we really need to get it going. We have the Rugged Helmet, we have Ordinary Rod to get a Timpole, and Palpitoad. I think we have enough Seismatoad, so let me just get these two in case we don't have any more rare candies. That stage 1 is helpful. Get these fighting energies back into the deck. Scoop up net my Clefable, and let me just use Shaky Waves. That will discard all their energy. I don't need to remove it and put it into their top deck because that's gonna recycle it, giving them a chance to reuse those energy, but we don't want that to happen. So knocking out Zeraora V is the most practical. They're gonna switch into Medicham, Marshadow though, but they're just gonna use the attack to find their Fan of Waves and Octillery. And let me use this Quick Ball to get another Timpole. We need to start setting up. We have Skyla anyways. I mean, we have Seismitoad and Rare Candy, so we can evolve. So we could still disrupt them, but it's gonna be a tough battle for sure. We won't be able to knock out this Marshadow just yet, and nothing much to get here. So I might as well just get Boss's Orders, and I'll just use Shaky Wave to do 30 damage because of resistance. And again, that's what makes Seismitoad, I think, very difficult to use because of that Hyper Voice attack. It requires 4 energies, man. It's just so hard to accelerate so much energy. I actually tried this build with a lot of different energizers, like Colossal. I tried that, but it filled up the deck so much that you can't really use this same strategy with another stage 2 in the deck. Yeah, they're just it's just very difficult to fit all of these cards in one deck and make it work. They're gonna use Smash Uppercut, knocking out our Seismatoad, but thanks to the Rugged Helmet, we can put back one of their energies to their hand. And thankfully, we have all the elements we need to evolve into another Seismatoad. And let me remove their last energy on this Medicham. they're gonna have to go from square one once again to build it up. So I'm just gonna keep using Shaky Wave so that I can keep disrupting this Medicham. They can't attack for, even if they have Rapid Strike energy, they won't be able to attack. And man, I hope we had, I really wish we had Twin Energy so that we can knock out this Medicham. And they're gonna knock our Galar Mine out of play to replace their Tower of Waters. And look at that! Ask and you shall receive. Hyper Voice finally knocking out this Medicham V to get our 2 prizes. Man, that that top deck, man. Well, they don't have any other strong attackers in play so far. Me and my opponent are basically in the same boat. But my Seismitoad can keep attacking though with Hyper Voice. I guess that's one of the good thing with Hyper Voice is there's no other setback. You can keep attacking for 160 each turn, but it does cost a lot, and by the time you build it up, maybe your Seismitoad will just get knocked out. And I think that's why Stone Energy is really good with this build, which keeps Seismitoad alive maybe for 1 or 2 turns, especially if your opponent has a really strong attacker. So we're gonna take one more prize with that Marshadow, and I think we're gonna take this home. We have another Temple to start setting up another Seismitoad if we really need to, and we have 9 cards left in the deck. But if they can't set up another attacker, we can actually knock out any one of these Pokemon they have in play so far. We can knock out Passimian, Octillery, and also their Snorlax. But they're gonna build up their Passimian and they're just gonna use Maelstrom, and that's gonna be game. Oh my goodness, I can't believe we won this game. Hyper Voice taking the last prize. Oh my goodness, wow, good game. Seismatoad is a decent card which may do very well against other single prizer builds. It is a unique card which specializes in disrupting your opponent's setup. Its attack Shaky Wave increases your opponent's active Pokemon's attack and retreat cost, and with the help of Clefable, Team Yell Grunt supporter card, Rugged Helmet tool card, and the Galar Mine Stadium, there is a level of effectiveness to this disruption strategy. Unfortunately, there is an easy workaround to this strategy, and that is if your opponent has a lot of switching options, because once they remove the defending Pokemon out of the active, the effects of Seismatoad's attacks are completely nullified. Many times too, your opponent will always find a way to build up enough energy on their bench. And unfortunately, you can only use all of your tech cards so much within a game that you can only really stall so much. So it is very important to build up Seismatoad's second attack also, so that you can take knockouts as soon as possible. Additionally, while Seismatoad's Hyper Voice attack has decent damage output of 160, it still falls short of two-shotting some VMAXs. And also the attack cost of 4 energies to this attack is just too high, making it very difficult to set up fast enough, especially if we need a secondary attacker right away. I have to admit that the win rate for this build is a bit low, and against top tier decks, this build doesn't do too well at all. Seismatoad as a standalone card can be a bit difficult to pull off, especially when there are better disruption Pokemon builds out there, but it is still a decent card nonetheless. Do let me know in the comments below how you would build around this Seismatoad. I would really like to hear your awesome ideas. And that's it for the video. If you enjoyed this video, please smash the like button. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this build and the gameplay, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching the Popsicle Knight channel, and as always, stay safe and have a great day.